I love you.
Gentlefolk, ladies and men, we're glad to have you here again, so please, won't you come on in and sit with us here on the couch? I'm the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon, and the Green Traveler has turned into my grandmother, who's sick, and, but, you know,
Aww.
They have, it's like, what big eyes you have, Grandma.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah.
I am proud of my eyes.
They're ginormous, like a fly. Well, this is a podcast called Green Faces on the Couch, if I didn't say that. It is about movies and TV, and this is our Bourne playlist. Yeah.
Jason Bourne.
To be Matt Damon. Jason Bourne. So this
Jason
one
Bourne,
is about
baby.
the Bourne Supremacy. And
indeed.
Yeah.
You want me to take her away?
Yeah, you go ahead.
I can. I can give it my best shot. First and foremost, it's directed by Paul Greengrass. Yeah, he is Captain Phillips. You know, he's a famous action director, and he was chosen for this film. I can't remember the movie. I want to say it was Bloody Sunday. It was a film about like the Bloody Sunday massacres in Ireland, and he was chosen for that because of how he captures how the camera felt like it was capturing the images around it. And the producers, for whatever reason, were like, that sounds perfect for an action film. So that's what came up from this film. And Paul, in this one, Jason Bourne is kind of living low. He's I can't remember where they're at, but he's with the Franca Potente from the last film. What was her name? Marie?
Yes, Marie.
And their cover gets blown really early on. Keith. I always want to call him Keith Urban. It's Carl Urban. It's Carl Urban.
He plays this Russian spy.
Yeah, we know him better for a lot of other things, specifically Star Trek, the Jason or the J.J. Abrams movies.
Yes, he plays Bones.
I love him as Bones. He's really fun.
And I was gonna call the character DeForest Kelly, but that's who played the character in the original series. I can't actually remember what Bones' real name is. I'm bad Trekkie.
You're as much of the Trekkie as I am a Whovian, which is to say we're deep into our fandoms. But Carl Urban, the Russian spy, comes to wherever Jason is laying low, and he's intending to kill Jason.
Yep. Because
they're gonna whoever Carl is working for, I can't remember honestly. Well, they plan to.
That might be a spoiler. I don't remember if we find out exactly who it is up front, but it's a familiar face.
Yeah, it's good I don't remember then. But they're trying to blame these murders in Berlin, I believe, on Jason.
Yes.
But they want Jason to be killed so that when people are, trying to figure out where Jason Bourne is for those murders, it takes them like 10 fucking years to do so. They'll always be searching.
That's right. And but so also, they made it look like he did it so that they would go after him, and also they wanted to clean up that Treadstone shit. That's what the whole thing is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's another loose stone, or loose stone. Is it another?
It's a Gorshian phrase. It's a Gorshian phrase. Yeah, it's a loose stone. It's the little stone that you stack up under your uneven cable because Gorshian carpentry is historically inaccurate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's another piece of the puzzle that they want just swept under the rug. They don't want that Treadstone business to be around anymore. So, bada boom. But the problem is, Carl misses. Well, he thinks he gets the hit right, but there's a switch in the car because Jason asks Marie to drive, and they switch in the car. And Carl shoots her. And this is all like first 10-ish minutes, so I don't care about spoiling that.
Even though she's like second build.
Yeah, that's what pissed me off. That's what I was going to say. Like, she's second on the list, and she's in it for literally 5 to 15 minutes.
That was because, well, I don't know if this one's based off of a novel. I don't know.
It is. It takes the name of the second novel by Robert Ludlum, but the plot is wildly different. And I've never read it. So I don't know what the plot is to the second one. I just Yeah, I just know that this one has practically nothing to do with that second book.
Okay, well, I don't know if Marie dies in the second book or not, but it definitely was I think, a box office thing. Like, to really, when people are in their seats, to really have a strong reaction to her death. That we're like, yeah, when we brought Franca back. But it really just feels like a missed opportunity to use her because she was really good in that first film.
Yeah, exactly. And I hate, that's one of the things I hate the most is when, and we've been experiencing that a lot last month with the horror films, where you'll have the final lady survive and then she's immediately killed off in the next movie within the first, 10 to 30 minutes. And I hate that so much because they're the fucking hero of the last one. This is how you're going to treat them? I mean, she's not the hero. She's not the hero of the Bourne Identity, but she is a damn good character.
Right.
And then they just wipe her away. But that is the motivating factor, though, for Jason Bourne to get off of his land low ass and to finally do something about this. And, he warned the CIA Treadstone people in the last film, you come after me, I'm coming here and I'm killing y'all.
Yep.
And now it's time to make good on that. And that's basically this film is Jason's trying to piece together what's going on in his past still. He still doesn't, he has a lot of questions about, the Treadstone business, everything that's going on there. And also he wants to get revenge for the death of his, I don't know if they're married, but his lover.
Yes. Yeah. I think they're as close to married for as off the grid that they are.
And the CIA operative now in charge, Brian Cox is still there, but he is not in charge of what's going on in this movie. He is just a unwilling cog in this whole
She kind of pulls him in because she finds out that he was the head of Treadstone, the scientist.
Exactly. And who is that? Is it Joan?
Yes, Joan Allen playing Pamela Landy.
Yes. And I like her. I like her a lot. She's very, she has a motive. She has a goal as her job. Like there's a reason she is trying to find Bourne.
Right.
And at the same time, you can tell that she is very much in over her head with all of what's going on. Like there's a lot of confidential shit going on, and people are always questioning her leadership. But she is like, no, I am in charge of this.
Ward Abbott. The Brian Cox character, constantly he's questioning her, but his reasoning behind it makes sense,
right? But he does come across as like the old guard, like the older guy who's just like, no, you can't do this job, you're not qualified enough for this, right? So like it definitely feels a bit like that too, which I appreciated her. Steadfastness against his brutish masculinity.
So, Brian Cox, as well as Matt Damon and Franca Potente, are not the only three characters who carried over. Nikki, played by Julia Stiles, is in this movie, and I think she has a little bit more of an important role. He Matt, being Jason Bourne, that is, kind of kidnaps her. I don't think it was supposed to happen that way.
Right.
If I recall, like, he asked her to come alone, and they, of course, didn't let her do that.
I think that is his plan because he knows they're not going to go alone.
Of course.
So I think that was,
And scares the shit out of her. Like, Julia Stiles does a really good job in this movie of being terrified.
Yeah, she does.
She thinks she is going to die because, like, the last thing she heard from Jason Bourne is saying, "Hey, if you come after me, I will kill you."
Right,
and they're coming after him.
And I don't know if they mentioned it in the last one. I feel like they flashed it across the screen at some point, and they flashed it across the screen in this one again. She is another Treadstone agent. She is like not as trained as Jason, obviously, but she has similar training. We can assume
she was more like a handler. Like she ran like the post that Jason reported to, so she knows Jason pretty well. Mm-hmm. Well as you can know an assassin who's able to blend into society.
Yeah, she certainly knows what he's capable of, and we. One thing I do love about this movie that I will give it a lot of credit for is you see just how well he is at rolling stealth rolls because this dude like avoids cameras like none other, and it is amazing to watch on these screens because he is just slipping in and out of crowds, and you see the CIA operatives like watching the cameras and are like searching for hours, and then finally they're like, look, there's a guy that looks like him, and they're like, oh, he's right here, it's him, we got a sighting, and it took them like 10 whole hours of camera searching to find this. It's amazing. Like, it's a lot of fun to watch him just sloop in and out of these crowds.
Right. I gotta say, so this movie introduces the reason why I'm not a fan of these movies and why I stopped watching them after the next movie. So much shaky cam.
Yeah, it's real bad, man.
Shaky. I was getting a little bit nauseous in the latter scenes for the action.
I'm gonna agree with you. A lot of the action scenes make me want to vomit.
Yeah,
and I'm never a fan of shaky cam. So like there are movies.
No still shot. There's no still shot in this movie.
For real. It's all in the hands, and like I know there's arguments to be made. I know there's a lot of filmmakers who can make arguments, and I've listened to many arguments, and I will agree with them. Like, one nice thing about these films, these action films, is it lends to the grittiness of these fights. These fights feel very real. Right. They feel very back alley kind of street fights because that's how you would fight in these situations. He's not interested in going round to round with all these guys. He's putting them down as quickly as he possibly can. And filming it that way does lend a grittiness to it. It lends a very realistic feel to these fights. But Jesus Christ, I can't figure out what the fuck's going on.
No, I can't. I don't agree with them. I think I get what they're saying and how it's supposed to do that. But for me, I would enjoy the scene a lot more if I could see it.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be like... It just has to look like he did the thing. And I mean, like, sure, it looks like he did the thing, but I still didn't see it. I want to see it.
Yeah. And like a lot of the times too, you can't tell who's punching who because it's just two white guys who look very similar in build and body size.
There's both one fight in particular with Jason Bourne and somebody else that I don't think it was Carl Urban's character. But
no, it was. They don't really have much of a. They have a couple of scenes where they like see each other, right? But I think the only time they actually fight is always in cars in this movie.
Maybe
they might have a fist-to-fist hand fight, but like I remember one scene where they're fighting on like he's on I think Carl Urban's on a motorcycle, and then did I call him? Okay, no, I called him the right name. I called him right now.
You did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus, man. It's bad.
Though I'm 100% sure that Carl Urban could play a country star, he is not a country star.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of funny if he did play Keith Urban. I think that'd be hilarious.
That would be so funny.
What if they're related? Like, I'm gonna look into it and find out they're like second cousins or something.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
So a lot of this movie, from what I've read, was filmed in reverse. They did the car chase scene in the third act with Carl Urban and Matt Damon in Moscow. They did that first, and then they like moved to Berlin, I think, and filmed the stuff that happened there. And then they went to the other areas on location and filmed. So it's like everything was filmed backwards. Wow. And I mean, I don't see any issues with that.
Right.
But like, I do think there might be a little more feel in that final car scene between Matt and Carl if they had filmed it like closer to in order. Like, I mean, you always film a movie out of order. You never film. I mean, a lot of movies have filmed in order front to back.
Right.
But those are rare. Typically, you film whatever is most convenient financially when you can.
Right.
But to do it in reverse like this, I wonder if Carl and Matt felt that, that venom between each other's characters. Like, Matt knows that Carl is responsible for the death of Marie, and Carl is like, I thought I'd already fucking killed you. Like, why am I doing this again? Because he's just another spy doing his job,
Yes, yeah. In fact, when he got called back in to go back after Jason, he said, I thought I'd get a month. And he said, I thought you killed your target.
Yeah. His handler's like, yeah, you would have a month if you did your fucking job. I do like that, how they continued that, like how they build up with Clive Owen's character in the first one. Because, he didn't really want to be doing his job. It's just, that's the job. Yeah. And, it was a very good continuation where you see that these spies aren't really happy with their lives. They're just being used in this big political game. And I really enjoyed that. But really, this movie is just another spy film that my brain shuts the fuck down watching these movies. Yeah,
it does. It doesn't have that same intrigue as the first one does. Because that first one, like, you start the movie off, nobody knows who Jason Bourne is. You don't even know the name Jason Bourne.
Exactly.
So it's this mystery that this man finds out about himself. And they have a little element about this in there because in the beginning of the movie, he still doesn't have his memory back. He just has a good idea of what kind of person he was. And he gets these dreams and visions. He keeps on dreaming about this particular thing in Germany, which does become relevant to the plot. So I suppose it works for that reason. But that was the only thing to try to make it feel like that same intrigue in that first film. And it just wasn't strong enough.
Yeah, if they had filmed it where... Because we see the murders that he's being implicated for early in the movie.
Yeah.
And, those murders happen in Berlin. And he's having these visions, these flashbacks of murdering somebody in Berlin. So, like, if we hadn't seen that initial murder, and if it was playing out that it's very possible he could have killed these guys and just forgot it, and his memory's getting bad, you know, because he already has... That's a different story. Yeah, he already has amnesia, and if, it's very likely that his memory could be deteriorating further, and that could have made a more investing tale.
Yeah, for sure.
But we know what happened, and it just becomes a revenge film, and then, like, he's just having these weird flashbacks, and it's like, I don't care about his backstory right now. Let's focus on the big plot, what's going on right here. But it really just threw me off.
Yeah, I would agree that it kind of threw me off. And, I'm kind of at this point with this particular movie that I'm not sure what else to say.
Yeah, because it is it's going to be our shortest episode, honestly, because there's not much to it.
Not really. Like, Marie dies, he goes after them. That's the plot and synopsis.
And it's not as driving as John Wick, and that's just the dog that dies in that one.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, it's just a lot of the stunt work's hidden by shaky cam. You don't really get to view the beauty of that choreography.
So, closing statements then. I'm going to go for it. I know it's going to be a short one, but that's what we get. I really don't like this movie. So I think I have to give it a half a face. It's not incompetent, but I just didn't like it enough, and it makes me feel nauseous enough that I don't recommend it to people. I don't like it. If it was just these two movies and we were doing a sequel smash, I'd be like, fucking punt that thing away. It's Bourne Identity all the way. So what do you say?
Yeah,
I want more Frankie I want more Franca Potente. I don't know. That was my biggest part of it, is that if they were gonna kill her off, at least give her like a half an hour. Jesus.
Yeah, for some fucking real, like, use her something. Yeah, I'm with you. I read that. I thought they had a trilogy plan. Like, I thought they were going to initially do a trilogy, but no. Apparently, they had only planned to do that first film, The Bourne Identity, and that was going to be it. And I thought this one had more ties to that last one. And it does have ties. There are a lot of connections. But it really does kind of feel like its own standalone story, kind of like it didn't need to happen. And it really didn't need to happen.
No, it didn't.
And, like, there are things I like about this film, because it is a watchable film. It is, I think. If you like Bourne Identity, I would recommend it, because it's just more of the same, just with shaky cam. So if you can put up with shaky cam, by all means. It's a spy film. There's a lot of action. And, like, I really do like Matt Damon's portrayal of Jason, he becomes even more human in this film. You get a lot more heart. You get a lot more humor. There's some... this is the film I talked last episode about some comedic moments between him where he's like spying on somebody across the building. This is that film because he's,
that part was pretty funny.
Yeah, because he's on another building with a sniper rifle, but he's not, he's not built. It's not a built rifle. It's just the scope and the butt. And he's looking through the scope at Pam Landy in the other building across the way. And he'll just say shit that like, and then hang up. And she's like, oh, fuck, he was spying on me because like he'll say something really, and it's always vague too. Like it's possible that he couldn't be there. Cause like one time he, like at the very end, he just says, you should probably go home, Pam. You're looking a little tired. Yeah. And like, you can just say that to anybody and creep them out because, like, you don't have to be looking at them. Yeah, it is creepy as fuck. And but it pulls it off more humorously than creepy in that movie, in Bourne Supremacy. And I found out that was a reshoot also. Apparently it had a different ending, but Matt Damon suggested this ending because it was funnier and it pulled higher with audiences. So that's kind of funny. But overall, I agree with you. The first one's better. This one's just kind of boring and unnecessary. And I give it 2.5 stars. Really, it'll probably just keep like if I ever watch it again, it'll probably become a 2-star film. Because spy films aren't my thing and I just zone out. If you're a spy person, this is a 2.5-star film.
Okay. So, you rated it much more graciously than I did. I just don't like it. I like... It's got...
That car chase scene, though, is great at the end.
Yeah, there's some good action, but it's just the shaky cam ruins it for me. I can't do it.
I get that.
And I've always suffered from motion sickness. You'd think since I kind of morph my own equilibrium inside my jelly chest, I just would assume that this wouldn't keep on happening, but... It's just kind of hard to, factor in gravity and inertia and all that shit. And,
right. I get you. I mean, that's why the blob moves slow. Oh, sorry, Gary. That's why Gary moves slowly.
I'm pretty sure we said Tim last time.
Tim! I'm so sorry, Tim. God.
But I'm pretty sure that he had a different name the first. Thank you out there, cousin Tim, Gary, Bob. We miss you. Is that our show?
Yeah, well, someday we'll have them on the show. It'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is the show. I'm sorry that to all those Jason Bourne fans who are hoping for like a lot, there's just not much to talk about, and we'll see if there's more to talk about with the third one next week. Bourne Ultimatum.
We will.
There will be a lot to talk about with the Jeremy Renner one. I'm sure of that.
I know, especially since I haven't seen it.
Rightfully so. If you do like what we have done today and what we have done other weeks, you can head on down to patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Check out our tiers. Check out our prices options there. We have merchandise. You can look into that too. That'd be fun. You get votes on future episodes. We always do a potato pick at the beginning of the month, and you can vote on what we'll talk about. You can torture us even. I mean, hell, we are open to redoing episodes even, so if you want us to be tortured and talk even further about Jason Bourne about nothing, you can go on down there and do that.
And if you can't, if you don't feel that you can financially support us, we understand that. And you still want to show your love for the show, you could write a review or rate us on Apple Podcasts, or you can even still go to the Patreon page and just send us comments and stuff and tell us what you think about the show. We'd love to hear back from you. And with that,
yes, we really would.
I think now it is our show. It's over.
That is, yeah. It is. It's done. There's no more content available today. I am the Gorshin Green Traveler.
And I am the Leon with no face. Safe travels and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of Fiction Works 19. If you like the show, please show your support by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. Like, follow, subscribe, wherever you might listen. We also now have a Patreon account. If you feel so inclined to support us in a financial manner, please become a patron by visiting patreon.com/greenandfaceless. You can also find more information about us on our Facebook account or on the FictionWorks19 Instagram account. Thank you so much for listening.